And of course, he was going to find any way that he could turn anything that I was doing, any action I was taking, and find some way to manipulate it into a negative. It's like, just don't say anything at all. I mean, your perspective, even your projection to me about where I would be living or who I would be living with or why, it's like, none of it mattered to me. It's like, who are you to even say? You have no right to say. And the thing is all that should matter to Nick, if all he was worried about was William, is that William was safe and he was happy and we could be grounded again, you know? And instead, and this is how you know that someone is acting from a wound, is when there is something positive that happens, or when you show any sign of growth whatsoever, especially if they are the one that is partaking in behavior to prevent that from happening. And the way that he responded to that, it just was so loud, filled with hate. And it was just like, okay, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not going to deal with it. Well, then probably about, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks later, just to give you a perspective here though, I moved out of my place in the end of October of 2024. We moved in January of 2025. So 8 weeks. Okay. Now, because my mother took the action that she did, and because of the way in which she was intentionally trying to push me away and get her grimy, slimy paws on my daughter and take control that was not her control to take, because she took the action that she did, she wanted to be able to take credit by co-signing, where in all actuality, we would have been moved in even before that had she not pulled the bull crap at the Social Security office like a whole month before that. But see, they wanted to get till Christmas because it was always a part of the plan. It was always a part of the plan. And it made it very obvious that they had such insight in some capacity that they were either a part of the people that were following me, a part of the private investigator that was following me. These people made it so obvious. I have pictures of all of this, by the way. I think that you don't see them, but I saw them. That's how I started recording them. And they knew that I saw them too. I could tell they were getting freaked out. Like sometimes I would even follow them. Occasionally I would walk right up to them and say something to them. And they were getting freaked out. But it's like, you're the one who is stalking me. Like, why are you stalking me? Or they would just follow me down side streets. It's like, I seen your vehicle. You have New York plates. And when I'm door dashing, of course, I'm driving all over the place too, which was another thing that was super helpful in this situation, because you would have no reason to be in these areas. And I'm seeing the same vehicle with New York plates. Like, what would ever make anybody think that they have the right to hire a private investigator on a person? They don't. It's actually illegal. Fourth or fifth time that I saw this person follow me in directly after I came into a store, who would always have on like a similar, like dressed similarly to me, like down to the way I wear my socks with like my Uggs, like the way I would wear my socks with my Uggs, like my puffy coat, like same color, everything, blonde hair, like would have a hat on and everything, but would like follow me around a store. It was crazy. And then of course I made it, once I was like, okay, you're weird. I'm going to make it obvious that I see you. Cause what are you doing? And it's like, then I would just like be very obvious. Like I would wait for them to turn around and I'd just be like, so they knew that I saw them. Like, I'm not going to have a reaction, give you what you want. Or these people, what they'll do is they'll come up to you and try to talk to you. And so like somebody can take a picture of the interaction if they're trying to say that they know you or something like that. That's how psychotic these people are. This is the lengths that people are going to commit crimes, to steal from you. And see, what happens is you'll get some empty vessel piece of shit whore that is like the queen of the psychopaths, okay? The queen, who has been manipulating and doing voodoo on a shit ton of people. So they'll build like a whole community. They're all over social media. It's the ones that are playing the victims. Okay, they play the victims all the time. When they're on top, they're like the queen. It's like, look at me, I'm the queen. And like everybody behind the scenes is low-key afraid of this person because they're like psycho to everybody. They're nasty and mean, and they order people around. Like they want to be waited on hand and foot for everything that they have. And they develop like this giant ego. The same thing applies for men too. But in this case, obviously, because there's women or something that wants to call itself a woman literally trying to be me, multiple ones actually, but it's very clear that for whatever reason, this psychopath, somebody generated and targeted me. You know, it's like, I don't know. I'm sure there was like a multitude of different reasons here why this happened, but I just think for whatever like initial reason that they started off, whether it was just to prevent me from getting a potential inheritance, whether it was from my daughter's father that passed away or his family, or my biological father, or anybody in my mother's family, or even, which I didn't end up learning until later when some of my dad's family got in touch with me. I'm not going to give too much information in this because he doesn't know yet that I know about all of this. But like basically what he was doing is like he ended up finding out about some oil, like an oil well, like some rights to oil lines. And I already knew that the whole situation was shady because he wasn't being transparent. I knew information. So when he would talk to me about it, I would see if he was going to be transparent with me about the information he was sharing, and he wasn't. And so people give themselves up. I tell you, people just, if people said less, when there's something shady going on around you, say less, because eventually people will tell on themselves. Most people, when they find information out, they want to like rush in to accuse people or to, let them know like you're busted. And it doesn't matter, because when people go to this lengths, you end up giving them a clue as to what you know. So it's better just to let them continue to make asses out of themselves. But also like essentially convict themselves. People that owned mineral rights or oil rights as a part of a little bit of a club, some kind of like little club, secret society or whatever, could all still tie back to the Jesters, I'm not sure. Or any one of them. Again, they're all the same, so it doesn't matter. Not everybody in the group is the same. I'm saying this particular group of people, whatever label they put on, it doesn't matter. They're all criminals. If whoever's a part of this. And so there was some affiliation there in Texas to also people who were either invested in oils and minerals, but there seemed to be like a little club. There also was like developers, real estate developers, people who owned businesses. There was hair salons and barbershops and all kinds of shit. Well, my brother Carmen was also making trips to Texas on a pretty regular basis, allegedly to go to Parker Hannifin, the company that he works for. But it just was very strange, these trips to Texas. It could be completely unrelated. Again, everybody I'm mentioning here is innocent until they're proven guilty or able to get a credit report. And when I tried to file my taxes this year, they rejected my taxes because they have me blocked. Or there's just a whole bunch of shit, like weird shit happening, because they're using my identity. That's why they have to be exposed. And again, like I said, I could be completely viral right now and not even know it. Not even know it. Because they're running my platforms that I have no access to. They just literally stole it. They stole my brand. They stole my name. They stole every platform, all of my content. So how they're actually playing this out, whether they're just using my content on different applications and then blocking me from all of those sites, completely just in my digital cage. So I have no idea how they're doing this. But because I can see that on my Credit Karma, there's property that is purchased from a trust fund in my name in Colorado and Texas, and other things that have just popped up that people have attempted to purchase through PayPal and Apple Pay that it like threw up some kind of red flag. I'm going to show all of you this in the actual next video. I just want to get through this next part. I get a motion. An attorney. Nick files for emergency custody of William. Keep in mind, we're already moved into a place. It is smaller, but it's like, I'm just waiting for this whole situation to get resolved. Like, I don't know. There's nothing I can do. It's not my fault, despite all of the evidence that I've shown you of what's actually happening to me, that you're rejecting it and choosing not to believe it because you're a part of it. And you're hoping that I believe it too, if you just keep pushing through. All right? If you want to continue to be corrupt assholes thinking that I'm eventually going to take myself out if you just keep pushing hard enough, that's on you. But that's not going to happen. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I raised this kid for 18 years, okay? It doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm not going to, when you know the actual, at the very root of what these people want is for you to walk away from your faith, for you to lose your shit, for you to climb into the little box that they want to fit you in so they can continue to torture you and live off of your creativity, your name, your face, your brand, because they're disgusting, vile creatures who all deserve to be in prison. They deserve no attention whatsoever. They don't even deserve the validation of me exposing them, any of these people. But I don't have a choice because they're hurting my child. And enough is enough. Enough is enough. You're not going to continue to silence me, and you're not going to continue to silence anybody else because you're a thief and a fraud. And I truly don't care. Read like maybe the first 4 or 5 lines of this motion, okay? It's all bullshit. Like every claim that I don't have a home, that I don't have a job, like the whole thing is complete bullshit. I'm like, well, I could disprove very easily first 4 lines in this motion. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'll just call his attorney and give her whatever evidence that she needs to see that all of this is false. Like, how are you going to go through with filing for something like when I can very easily disprove all of this? And how can you even file a motion like this when there's no facts included in this at all? It was so strange to me that an attorney would even go that far without actually having any facts. It was strange. It's like, why would Nick pay for all of this? He knows that it's not true. So why would he pay for all of it? It's weird. I was like, this is strange. So I call her. She doesn't answer, naturally, it's an attorney. And I leave her a voicemail. And I tell her in the voicemail, it's like, hey, I got, this motion or whatever, and, none of this is true, and I would like to speak with you. If you want to give me a call back, I can provide you with whatever it is that you need to see. And so she never calls me back. Maybe, I don't even know, 3 weeks later, maybe 3 or 4 weeks later, Nick drops William off from my scheduled time. He's sick as a dog. Doesn't tell me anything. Doesn't say anything. William tells me that his dad gave him amoxicillin. And I was like, what did he give you amoxicillin for? William's also allergic to amoxicillin, by the way. And Shelby's like, he's not actually allergic to it. I'm like, this is his stepmother, who's been his stepmother for like a year, telling his mother who raised him that he's not allergic to amoxicillin. Like, bitch. If my child pukes and breaks out in hives when they're given an antibiotic, yes, they are allergic to it. Okay? I thought you were a nurse. Or does it just bother you that it is that I know what's best for my own child? That's probably the case. If a mother says that her child is allergic to a medication, you probably shouldn't give it to him unless you want to hurt that child intentionally, which is kind of what I started to pick up on a little bit with the both of them. Why is he taking amoxicillin? Tells me he has COVID. I'm like, okay. Never called me, texted me before I was in contact with him. Never said anything about the fact that he had COVID. I'm like, thankfully I'm a very healthy person, contrary to what anybody might have heard from these 2 disgusting creatures. I've never actually had COVID, nor have I ever been vaccinated for it. When you actually take care of yourself, when you're not a disgusting, diabolical creature who tries to take people out with black magic, when you're actually a kind and good and loving person, you would be surprised when you focus on yourself how healthy you just are naturally. When you're not doing sex magic and group orgies and stuff. Yeah, it's great for your skin. Sorry. They actually deserve worse, but I'm trying to keep it classy for a little bit. But it's just like, the things that he pulled are so just horrifically evil. It's so evil. If my son was with me right now and I didn't even have to talk about this, if I didn't have to worry about what these freaks are doing to my child or what the potential is to happen to my child because they can't sacrifice me, if I didn't have to worry about this, if people weren't dropping dead around Nick and people in this group, I probably wouldn't even be doing this. I probably wouldn't be talking about all of this. The fact that they're keeping my son from me and traumatizing him, knowing that my little boy is probably scared shitless. He even told me his worst nightmare is that Shelby was gonna hurt me and take me out. His dad was trying to cancel me. That was his very worst nightmare, is that his dad would take him from me. That he would take him from me. And Nick is literally acting out his son's worst nightmare right now. And the Cuyahoga County Family Court endorsed that and enabled that to somebody who was actually a victim of a crime.